Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So the 2020 NBA All-Star Game stars for the Eastern and Western Conference have just been announced. So for this video, we are going to talk about it. Now, on my main channel, Crispy Flakes, I'm going to be talking about snubs over there and, guys that I think should have been starting for the All-Star Game. But for this video, I simply want to focus on the positives because there's not a single player listed here that definitely does not deserve the spot. With that being said, bro, there were some players I am not too happy about that's not a starter. So over on the main channel, Crispy Flakes, link to that in the comment section below. I'm going to go ahead and talk about that over there. But yes, so first and foremost, the captains are going to be LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I will say, going forward, I almost wish they would allow, well, see, that's the thing, because of course, those are the highest voting getting guys. But at the same time, too, I wish there was a separate voting for who was the captain of the team. I guess it makes sense in theory, but of course it's it would be nice to see to have an opportunity for other guys to draft the team. I don't know, man, because I just feel like it's going to be the same most popular player for every single year. Every single year it's going to be Giannis, and then once LeBron James retires, it's probably going to be Luka, right? So I would just really like to see that, or maybe would be kind of interesting is that they allowed the first and second pick from the NBA draft to draft the teams. I don't know, man. Adam Silver, hit me up about that one, man. But yes, so the Western Conference stars. We'll start from the left and work our way to the right. We have Anthony Davis. I mean, yes, Anthony Davis is a generational big guy. I'm very happy for this man right here because just so many years just playing for the Pelicans, and I know some of it is his fault, but at the same time, too, he wasn't really built around correctly either on the Pelicans. But pretty much just they're playing great basketball every single season, man, just putting up all these crazy stats, and it never really led to playoff success. I think they made the playoffs one time, so all of a sudden, we knew Anthony Davis wanted to be a Los Angeles Laker, and he requested a trade pretty much last season. I know some people don't really agree with how that all went down, but look at him now, man. He's on the number one team in the Western Conference. He's playing with LeBron James. He's playing for the Lakers, which I'm sure he loves everything about that big market team. And he's an all-star starter. I mean, yes, it's not the first time either or anything like that, but still, you just got to be happy for him. Not so much just from a personal standpoint, but also just everything leading up to this point, what he does on the basketball court. Now, Luka Doncic is a very fun one. I don't know who is the youngest all-star starter in NBA history. You guys let me know that in the comment section below. But I mean, Luka last year caught us off guard. I mean, getting drafted in the league. Of course, there was a trade with the Dallas Mavericks and the Atlanta Hawks, which swapped Trae Young for Luka. And here we are, man. I mean, one of the greatest, youngest players to ever play the game of basketball. You might actually say that he is the greatest, youngest player ever. Now, I know it's a bold statement because there's been a lot of guys that have come into the league and really done some great things, very quickly. But Luka Doncic is definitely up there as one of the all-time greats. Triple-double machine really allowed the Dallas Mavericks to skip a rebuild. It's normally when you lose a generational talent like Dirk Nowitzki, who's been with the team for 20 years, we all expected, okay, well, they drafted this kid, Luka Doncic, and all of a sudden, the Dallas Mavericks are probably a few years away. We'll see how he pans out. And he's like, no, I'm just going to be a superstar right away. I want to be an MVP candidate player right away. So here he is starting for the All-Star team. Absolutely love everything about Luka. Love the story, love his style of play, and I can't wait to see him here for many more years to come. Next up, we got James Harden. So James Harden is definitely one of those situations where either you love him or you hate him, and I will say James Harden probably has a lot of haters in the NBA. Despite any of that, the man knows how to put the ball in the basket. And you might not always think it's the prettiest way he plays. A lot of isolations, a lot of getting into the basket, and, sometimes flopping a little bit. But I think it's actually an art to the way he does draw fouls. And once again, man, I mean, former MVP, one of the greatest shooting guards to ever play the game of basketball, can light you up for 50 points on any given night. James Harden, very well deserving, in my opinion. Next up, we got, of course, we talked about him being the captain, but it's going to be LeBron James, guys. It's going to be LeBron James for the Los Angeles Lakers. No big-time surprises here. Top two player of all time. You might say number one, you might say number two, depending on who you're talking to. I listen to arguments on both, pretty much. But yes, LeBron James, again, representing his team in the All-Star game. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. LeBron is one of those guys that I do think will be a starter and maybe even a captain because he has that type of popularity to his name. For things not only does on the basketball court, but off the basketball court, what he's really done for the world of sports in general. LeBron James is a superstar, man. I mean, I know it's the All-Star 2020, but LeBron James is a superstar player. And I know he doesn't have, I know there's a lot of people out there that hate him. I know there's people that like him a little bit too much. But he's LeBron James, and he ain't going nowhere anytime soon. This dude could probably play till he's 50, right? And then finally, we have the silent assassin, the silent killer himself, Kawhi Leonard. Another fantastic story. So we all know about his situation with the San Antonio Spurs. Nobody loved how it ended. Had that be his fault, the Spurs' fault, maybe a little bit of both, probably that. Of course, to the Toronto Raptors was a one and done there, but won them a championship. Now he's finally at peace with his, he's got to make he got to make the choice of where he wanted to play at, and it doesn't matter where he's at. I mean, you could put him on the damn moon. He'd be the best basketball player there. Well, I mean, I could probably beat him 1-1 on the moon, man, because, anti-gravity and stuff. Now, I'd still have a 4-inch vertical with anti-gravity. But regardless, no matter where Kawhi Leonard goes, when it strictly comes down to the X's and O's of basketball, this guy knows how to get it done. He knows how to put the noise behind him. He knows how to go out there and just silence everybody, man. He's a beast. Kawhi Leonard's a beast, guys. So, the All-Star starting 5, I'm happy with it. And quite frankly, I'm going to talk about in my snubs video. I'm not, too upset about any of these choices at all. And really, no, all these guys are the deserving. Okay, next up, let's talk about the Eastern Conference. Keep in mind, it's listed as East and West, but there's going to be a draft, I think, on February 6th, and, all the players are going to be shifted around to different teams, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, I kind of miss the old West versus East personally, just because, when you are in the Eastern Conference as a fan of the Western Conference, it's almost like a brotherhood, man, when it comes down to it. It's like you want your conference to beat the other one. But at the same time, seeing LeBron get to play with some of these other guys out there is going to be a lot of fun, too. I really hope there's a Luka and Trae Young backcourt. That would be absolutely awesome. But yes, for the Eastern Conference, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It doesn't matter what he does. MVP, future NBA champion. I will never say your last name correctly. I will try my hardest every single time, but every single time must be a different irritation. I can't even talk normally, so yeah. But yeah, pretty much, guys. Giannis, no surprises here. What is surprising about Giannis is his ability as a basketball player to just continue to play at the top level, but to the point where, you thought his ceiling, you thought he's already reached the ceiling. You thought he's already been all the way up there. But he took his big old Giannis hands, freaking punched a hole in that ceiling. He says, I'm going to climb even higher. I mean, what he's doing this season, nobody knew that Giannis could do this again. Nobody knew that Giannis could get even better than what he is. We all said he couldn't shoot threes. He's shooting threes. I mean, he's lead, and the Milwaukee Bucks lost Malcolm Brogdon. I thought that was a huge loss for them. But guess what? He got the Milwaukee Bucks as the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. This guy's a champion. This guy, how is he, 24? My God, how much better can this guy get? I don't know, man. Next up, we got Joel Embiid. The process. Trust the process. In my opinion, the best center in the NBA. Say what you want about injuries. I'm also one of those people where it's the injuries I think should be part of the discussion. But when push comes to shove, when he is on the basketball court, playing his minutes, he's unstoppable. He's a force to be reckoned with, guys. It's Joel Embiid. The process, I don't know. He's just, it seems like Embiid knew that the 76ers were going to become great before it actually happened. Just him drafted. I think the process, he had it in his mind. He knew what he wanted this team to become. He knew what he wanted to become as a player, and he's so much fun to watch. Next up, we got Pascal Siakam. My God, I will be the first to admit, I was so wrong about this guy. I was so wrong about the Toronto Raptors in general. I really did think that Kawhi Leonard was the sole reason they won the championship last year. And while he was, of course, a huge part of it, I don't think they would have won it without him. But Pascal Siakam, I was like, okay, this kid's a good second option. I have a feeling his stats are up a little bit because he's playing off of Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi is that type of player where he's going to make everybody around him better. But no, Kawhi left, and Pascal's like, oh, you need me to be the number 1 option now? You need me to average 24 points per game? You need me to be extremely efficient and do everything out there that a basketball player needs to do to win? Yeah, I got you guys. And he's done that, man. And I'm so happy for this guy. I'm so happy for the Toronto Raptor fans in general, man. Just because, to lose Kawhi Leonard like that, especially after trading DeMar DeRozan, who was a big part of the franchise. I mean, obviously they got a championship, but just to lose your best player like that after winning, I'm sure it hurt a bit. But Pascal Siakam makes that a whole hell lot better when he's playing like this. Next up, we got Kemba Walker. Yes, guys, Kemba Walker. Almost the same story as Anthony Davis. Played for the Charlotte Hornets his entire career. Was really the beacon of consistency and loyalty to that franchise. And it got to the point where it's just like, I don't think they were going to pay him the money he wanted. Went to the Boston Celtics, which was kind of, I don't want to say a hostile environment, but the Celtics want success. The Celtic fan base, they expect nothing less than championship. They love their team. They love their players. But let's be honest, the past few seasons have been a little disappointing. Of course, with the whole Kyrie Irving thing. You get Kemba Walker, who has been the missing piece and so much more for the Celtics. Straight up, guys. I mean, any sort of chemistry issue that was on this team, Kemba Walker was inserted into the lineup and he's fixed it. He's been just his leadership. Like, his leadership, man. Like, he should be the captain of this team just because of his leadership. No, Giannis definitely deserves it too, straight up. But no, man. Kemba Walker's so hyped for this guy. I mean, so much fun to watch. One of my favorite point guards ever. And then finally, we got Trae Young. Now, I know the big elephant in the room is, well, Trae Young's on a bad basketball team. Like, why does he deserve to start? Have you guys seen what he's actually done on the basketball court? Like, I understand everything, but it's the All-Star game, guys. It's the All-Star game. And when it comes to putting up numbers and when it comes to exciting young players, no pun intended, kind of maybe a little bit intended, Trae Young's the real deal. I mean, I remember watching him against the Pistons, and he was pulling up from like Curry range like he's been doing it for years, and I'm sure he has been where nobody always played basketball at. But really the thing about Trae is that he saw last year Luka win that Rookie of the Year. And of course, he knows how great Luka is, because Luka obviously is better than Trae Young. I mean, come on, man, let's be honest about that. But that's not stopping Trae Young from being an amazing player. There's guys out there that don't have that mental toughness to look at the guy they were traded for and see them becoming like a superstar MVP and being like, well, he's just a better player. No, Trae Young competes every single night. Now, the rest of his team, I mean, he's going to get the help eventually. And when he does, it's a game over for the rest of the Eastern Conference, guys. So yes, as far as the All-Star starters go, I have no issue with any of these guys. But there are other guys that I think deserve to make it too, and I'm going to talk about that on my main channel, Crispy Flakes, on my snubbed video. Should be coming out pretty soon.